Greetings, folks. Joseph Kursky here with you to talk about a recent article about making scientific data fair, F-A-I-R acronym. We'll talk about that in this video. In a new article in Nature journal, author Shelley Stahl and her colleagues argue that all disciplines should follow the geosciences and demand best practice for publishing and sharing data. These authors make bold statements that I believe are long overdue, and the statements touch on many of the themes of our Spatial Reserves blog and our book, The GIS Guide to Public Domain Data, including the following. Number one, although the amount of scientific data generated are enormous and growing each year, these data are, quote, not being used widely enough to realize their full potential, and that, quote, most researchers come up against obstacles when they try to get their hands on data sets. Isn't that the truth? The authors show evidence that only 1/5 of published papers typically post the supporting data in scientific repositories. While I do not have the figures at hand, this seems to be even more of an acute need in the area of research that makes use of geographic information systems and remote sensing. How often are the links to the data sets provided? Very seldom. The authors give several key reasons why authors do not share data. Number two, the authors state that, quote, too much valuable, hard-won information is gathering dust on computers, disks, and tapes. And I spent much of my career in federal data gathering agencies, and while much data has been digitized, to be sure, not all of it has. And then what happens when technology changes, including media, such as specific types of physical storage? See my post, Tossing the Floppies, for example, and means of access, such as the demise of most FTP sites where data was stored. On a related theme, we have documented the demise of useful geospatial data portals in the Spatial Reserves data blog that may sound good in that the new and improved portals perform better, but often data are not ported over or are done so in a way where researchers cannot find them. Two of the many examples include the National Atlas of the USA, which I loved, and the Global Land Cover Facility. I've spent many hours this year alone trying to obtain data that were on both of these sites. On a positive note, the central theme of the article is to encourage disciplines to follow the leadership of earth sciences and adopt the Enabling Fair Data Projects commitment statement in the Earth, Space, and Environmental Sciences for depositing and sharing data principles. This helps ensure that data be, quote, findable, accessible, interoperable, and reusable. Perhaps we will see the day when the majority of articles will provide for the reader, for the researcher, access to the data behind them. I do hope, however, that if authors cannot share their data for many legitimate reasons, confidentiality or safety or for other valid reasons, that provisions will be made for the research to still be published if it is deemed by peer review to be of value to the scientific community. Thanks, and I look forward to hearing your reactions.